We are live. We are in 2018. It is the Comic Hall Roundtable and discussion. On our panel tonight, we have Antonio Coleman, Al Rainey, and Xavier Randall. Larry should be joining us later on tonight. I am Ed Odom, your host tonight, and we are going to get right into things. But before we do that, fellas, glad to have y'all back.
Glad to be here, sir. Word life. 2018, man. New beginnings. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Last night was the premiere on the CW of Black Lightning. Al, bring that a little bit closer to the camera there. To your right. There you go. Black Lightning debuted and rave reviews to the show. Rave reviews to Black Lightning. And before I even have a chance to say anything, I'm going to let, because Al was so excited, he called me, Matt, Black Lightning. So I'm going to let Al come out of the gate. And Al, I'm going to let you have first dibs on Black Lightning.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't call him saying Black Lightning.
They did.
No, I didn't. But thank you for joining us tonight. We do appreciate your viewership. I did call him, though, after I watched the show the second time. And I had to talk to somebody. I didn't know who to talk to, so I called Matthew Odom. And I said, man, you know what? I said, man, this show is good as bleep. And he's like, man, don't talk about it. Don't say nothing. That's when the repeat came in. Don't say nothing to the show. I said, okay. But, man, this show is good as bleep. Bruh, when I tell you all that this particular show, if y'all have not watched it, man, the pilot is everything. In my honest opinion, and this is my opinion, and it doesn't reflect the views of the panelists here tonight. But you know how people say that saying that such and such gives me life? That pilot episode gave me life. And I mean that figuratively, of course. At that particular show, it set the groundwork for a lot of stuff to go on. There was some subplots happening. There was some character development happening with several characters in the show. I'm not going to go into huge detail about it, but I will go ahead and take this particular excursion, and I'm going to go the comics explain route. Particular YouTuber that I watch on YouTube that explains a lot of stuff, and give a little background on Black Lightning, because I've actually seen some stuff online. People are like, who is Black Lightning? What's Static Shock? You know, and all this kind of stuff. So just to give people a little insight, if you're not familiar with Black Lightning was a character created back in the Bronze Age of comic books, which in some people's arguments is one of the best times of comic bookdom, in reference to storylines and characters and whatnot. He was created back in 1977 by DC Comics. Black Lightning holds the distinction of being the first African-American superhero in DC Comics. Also, the first African-American to actually hold his own comic book, which is the comic book that I just held up. John Stewart, which is Green Lantern, came a little bit later. But in any event, he predates Static Shock by roughly 20 years, maybe 19, I think. Static Shock came out like in the mid-90s, early 90s, I'm not sure. So now you know, and knowing is half the battle. So with that being said, pretty much Black Lightning was a show that pretty much gave the DC TV landscape what we call diversity. You know, we have the Arrowverse, of course, we have the Flashverse, which is part of the Arrowverse actually, and then we have that god-awful Legends of Tomorrow. Right. So with the DC landscape regarding Black Lightning, it gave him his own canvas. It gave him his own area in reference to painting a picture and providing a backdrop on, you know, that particular character. Black Lightning really hasn't been used that much outside of the comics. He was or has been a part of the Justice League. He was in the Young Justice comic, the comic and the cartoon, if I'm not mistaken. But this particular show has actually shed a little light on the character. It gives this one particular pilot gave his character depth, his family life, his personal life, the whole 9 yards. So there was a lot of things going on in this particular pilot. They cramped a lot of stuff into this pilot, and they made it work. It flowed. It was smooth. We didn't get everything that we know about Black Lightning in this first episode, but I'm sure that as the episodes progress, they will flesh his character out more. At the end of the episode, we already got a cliffhanger, and it's only one episode in. So I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to actually give it a grade. I'll let Matt do that, and once everyone has actually chimed in and given their thoughts on it. But I was thoroughly impressed. I was thoroughly pleased, and I think this particular outlet provided that people watch. And if y'all haven't watched it, please go watch it. It's a good show. I think it will give this particular character a little bit more time in the limelight. I'm actually thinking, of course, they just dropped the new Black Lightning comic book a few months ago to coincide with the release of the show. But I think he may actually have a little bit more important role in certain aspects when it comes down to the DC Rebirth universe, hopefully. And it all paves the way for other comic book characters such as him that might be obscure to actually come out in the forefront. So in closing, I just want to say go see it, go watch it. It's on CW, the same channel with The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. But go see it. Supergirl's on CW. Oh yeah, Supergirl. I would have to say Black Lightning is probably second to The Flash, but that's kind of like an asterisk in front of The Flash right now. So we're gonna talk about The Flash later on. But yeah, Black Lightning was the pilot. It was enough to say I'm gonna watch the second and the third episode. So really good. Go see it.
All right, Xavier, your thoughts on The Flash? Excuse me, I mean not The Flash, but Black Lightning.
I know something. I'm right there with Al. I really enjoyed the show. I liked the show. It was a breath of fresh air for what we have in the Arrowverse and the CW. My only fear for the show is that it won't make it past season 1. And no matter how good it is, how much we like it, it's almost like it was too black. You know what I'm saying? That's the sad thing about it. They, with all the undertones that they had throughout the show, even though it's relevant, they don't want to see that on TV, and they don't want to be successful, which I hope that I'm wrong, because this show was excellent. It was great. I like how they had a lot in the show, but they didn't force it down your throat. With everything that they had in there, they gradually gave it to you, and it made sense. They even gave you a little back history in this, and within an hour, which is almost unheard of with the amount of information that they put in front of us. You know what I'm saying? And they did it so perfect. But on the backside of, with 45 being in office, I don't see it making past season 1, and that's a shame. And I hope that I'm wrong. But all in all, it was a very good show.
All right, Antonio, your thoughts on Black Lightning, my friend?
Man, I watched the show and I like the character of Black Lightning himself. I mean, it's really kind of a mystery to it, because I hadn't read too much on the comics for Black Lightning. I'll be honest with you, I hadn't read too much on it. So the whole mystique about how I want to know how he got his powers. What's the base of his powers, how he uses them, stuff like that. And even at the end where you see like the daughter start looking like she's going to develop the same kind of power. So it's not something necessarily that was created. It looks like it's something that's passed on in that sense on there for it. As far as the other parts of the show, I agree with Xavier that, some of it is kind of stereotypical to the point where they just played the part of the black family on there, and they played it out, and I don't know how people are going to react to it, because me and you sat down and watched it, and all the way down to the soundtrack of the show. I mean, you could just hear it. It was like, okay, I've heard this in this movie, and this is what's going on in this kind of situation when you hear this kind of music in it. and it played to that part all the way down to that part on in the show on there for it. But I mean, I do hope that it does continue on. I do want to know more about his background and about as far as how he came about and who the characters are that are helping him out in the situation. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what's going on.
All right, hold on, Al. We'll get to you. Hold that thought.
Okay.
My thoughts on it is this: I watched the show, and I call it Boys in the Hood meets DC Comics. That's not a knock on the show. Let's get that straight. It's not a knock on the show. I look at, I compare it. I immediately compared it to Luke Cage right out of the gate, just because that's the only thing that's out there that I can compare it to. Yep. I'll tell you what I've noticed is that this show has more freedom than any other show on the CW channel. And when I say freedom, I mean as far as violence, as far as language. I mean, as far as, dealing with social issues. I mean, we got gang banging, we got educated black folk, we got, affluent black folk. I mean, you got all kind of, element, a melting pot of things going on in the show. You got rape. I mean, you got drugs. You got. I mean, it's all there. If it's all there. I think that this show. I think it's going to go. I think this show will get renewed. I've seen nothing but rave reviews. I've listened on Sirius Satellite Radio today. They talked about it on there. Rave reviews. I've seen YouTubers that I follow that I didn't even think would even watching this stuff is talking about it. This show is probably going to be around for another year or two, at least another year or two.
I hope so.
Add something different, and we're going to get to the Flash a little later on. But I'll tell you, it was a big pick me up from the Flash last night, coming off of that. And so being able to have something with some form of action made Tuesday nights more bearable, because at 9:00, there's nothing on. I mean, really, for those who watching Legends of Tomorrow, I mean,
Blackish,
there's really not anything on as far as, in that time frame on 9:00 on a Tuesday. I mean, especially for people our age, unless you're watching basketball or, the football's over with now. So, yeah. So, I mean, I thought the show was really good. Visually, the effects, the suit, it was a little bit on the cheesy side, but I mean, I can't expect much from something that's airing on regular TV as opposed to it being Netflix. I can only imagine how good this would probably be if it was on Netflix. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of spoiled because I'm so used to having 12 episodes where I can just go 1, 2, 3 right behind, binge watch it to, now I'm like, damn, I gotta wait another week to see what happens, on the show. The villain, I love the villain.
That's a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah, it is a good thing. It's nostalgic. Yeah, it's nostalgic. I like the villain. I can't wait to see how he's fleshed out. I tell you, man, his children got dirty mouths, man. I tell you that.
They do.
I was like 17, 16, like that, man.
Right.
In the household. I was like, me and Tony watched it. I was like, wow. But
his youngest daughter came a long way from the Tyler Perry show.
I tell you, man, it's basically, for me, giving the show just based off of last night's show, a 1 out of 10. I'm going to give, not a 1 out of 10, but I'm on a scale from 1 to 10. I'm going to give last night's show a strong 7.5. And I think that's fair, just based off of what we saw last night. Now, the problem with this going forward is going to be, can you keep this pace up? A show like this requires high-paced action because you set the tone last night. So I'm just hoping they don't pull the Sleeping Dead, and where you get that one episode of Firepower, and then you go into this whole Dynasty and Dallas type mentality with the show, where it just drags out and it bores everyone. I think CW may have another winner on their hands, and this will fit in well because Arrow has been struggling for a while. And like I said, we'll get into the Flash. The Flash is struggling right now. Flash is right now. They're in the 7th round, and the referees get on the count, and he's at 6 right now. And so this can maybe, no pun intended, this could actually be the jolt that CW actually needs to kind of kick this thing in the high gear. And also it makes people around it. Hopefully this will make other shows around it better. Make people say, okay, well, we got to step our game up because, we don't want to play second fiddle to the new guy. So, like I said, on a scale from 1 to 10, strong 7.5 on the Comic Hall and Round Table discussion scale. TC, then we'll go to Al.
Let me ask y'all right quick. Did anybody else think that the old suit actually looked better than the new one?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like this panel that
your lights and everything.
I mean,
okay. I was just wondering.
Like I said,
the walking glow stick. No,
like I said, it's more or less. I mean, you really can't. I mean, we can't really complain because it's on regular TV. I just feel like if they had a budget that was better suited, that it would probably look better. But I can look past that. Al.
Well, I'm in a minority on that suit because that old suit looked like Sub-Zero suit from Mortal Kombat 3.
Glacier from WCW?
Oh, man.
Yeah, Glacier from WCW, but it looked like Sub-Zero suit from Mortal Kombat 3. But yeah, I can see where everybody's concerns are in reference to the content. I think that could be a detriment, but I also think that could be a plus because right now at this particular time in reference to television, the type of issues that Black Lightning portrayed in the pilot episode, you're not seeing on TV. So that could actually be a good thing for it because it opens up the eyes to people to see stuff that is reality, whether some people want to realize it or not. When he was profiled at the beginning of the show, that's happened to me. So I can relate to that as many other people can as well. I mean, it didn't happen to the extent that it happened to him. My eyes didn't glow and I didn't shut off the police car. Right. But I mean, y'all get what I'm saying. So I mean, as far as it goes, I think along with Matt that the show has some legs. It's gonna all rely on writing. It's gonna all rely on keeping the show fresh and not putting it in a position to where you have a house party episode where Kid and Play show up. And they do a house party at Jefferson's house, and they end up doing a Kid and Play dance and stuff, and saying "Ola Ola," rolling with Kid and Play and all that kind of stuff. So as long as they can stay away from that type of thing, man, and keep some riveting television, the pilot was proof positive that it's possible. So it's just a matter of the showrunners and the writers to put together some stuff so the actors and actresses can do their thing, but. All in all, man, I'm telling you, I'm pleased. That was really, in my opinion, it was. You go into certain things that we talk about this all the time. Well, we go and we watch a movie or we watch a TV show, and we don't allow our expectations to be so far up. Not saying that you're lowering your expectations because you're expecting crap, but you go in saying, okay, well, I'm gonna see how this is, and sometimes your expectations are disappointing. Sometimes they're, good. In this particular situation, Black Lightning exceeded my expectations. So,
all right. So let's move on here. Let's go to the next elephant in the rooms, and we're going to talk about Black Panther. For those who watched college football, they ran a new trailer. For those who have been surfing Facebook, you've seen it. We are Tony. You are the resident Black Panther man. We are 3 weeks away?
Yeah, less than a month.
Less than a month away from Black Panther, and the hype has become unreal. I mean, we saw this coming over a year ago. For those who don't know, you can go back and check our old shows. We talked about this. We talked about this storm. We talked about folks who have no clue what Black Panther is, claiming that they're Black Panther fans. We got folks who have triple the price of comic books that we told people to go out and get over a year ago.
Mhm.
And I think we're getting ready to hit the home stretch with Black Panther. And it's going to be a good movie. I don't even have to talk. I'm not even worried about that. There's a lot of backlash with Michael Jordan a couple of weeks ago, which I thought was silly, which was absolutely foolish. And but luckily that died down quickly. Tonio, what are your thoughts as we are just under a month away from Black Panther? And for those, while it's on my mind, and for those who are looking on this panel for a Black Panther, the actual masterpiece figure or what have you, I saw one at Walgreens yesterday on Pinona. So if you're looking to get one, go pick it up.
Talking about the Marvel Legends.
Yeah, the Marvel Legends movie version.
You come out
Yeah. look at it.
You know he already got it. Look at this.
That one right there. Yeah, that one right there.
Hey, TC, they got one where he got pink inserts on it.
What about the Killmonger? You seen the Killmonger?
No, I hadn't seen the Killmonger, brother.
Okay, all right.
Hey, TC. Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry, X. What you say?
No, I was saying they got one where he has like the pink accents in his suit and the pink lightning that everybody's trying to get a hold of too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they got the one with the kung fu grip too, so you might want to go get that one.
They got
the kung fu grip,
straight hand, and the grip fingers. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, kung fu grip.
Right,
no,
Tony?
man. I mean, we're coming up on the show. We're coming up on the movie, and like you said, the hype train is the brakes are broken, and it is flying right now.
You lying.
Right? I mean, I've read posts like you said. Basically, if people gonna be dressed up in there, it's gonna be like King Joffrey Jiffer from
Got
to
you,
America.
Let them wait.
Yeah, I've heard it all, man. But you know what? I mean, like you said, I've seen a lot of positive to go along with it, as far as along with the hype on there as well. Because I saw one young man on Twitter where he was gonna he's paying for all these like underprivileged black youth to be able to go and see this movie because this is something that they're gonna need to see. Just to see that Marvel is not, and this is what I love about it, is Marvel is not basically hiding the fact that yes, this is a black hero movie, and we're putting it in your face, and we're putting it out there for everybody to see, and we want you to see it, we want you to respect it, and I mean it's basically, that's everything that you're getting in it, and they're not hiding it, they're not pulling back from it, they're actually promoting it, they're pushing it, the cast are pushing it, promoting it, and I really think it's just going to be an awesome movie. I really do. I think it's going to be one. It's already one of the most, like the second most anticipated movie of the year. I mean, and we're only in January behind Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to let us down. From what I've seen just from the trailers alone, from what I've read, as far as plot lines, storylines, stuff like that, I think everybody's going to be really pleased with what they're going to get because they're delving into all parts of the history of the Black Panther on there. I mean, you even saw like the scene where you see him going up to the tree, talking to the spirits of the older Black Panthers on there for it.
The Lion King scene.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting all of that in there. So you got his main villain, you got Claw, he's in it. So I think it's going to be a big surprise at the end because I know it. I mean, because basically this is going to lead up to the Infinity War on there for it. So, I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to see the Dora Milaje. What they call
Milaje.
Dora Milaje. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see his sister and just how they interact. And I'm hoping that she actually gets her own suit and they show it at some point in the movie, but that's just me hoping on that for it.
All right. Xavier, your thoughts, Black Panther, my friend.
Man, I'm very excited for the movie. And the funny thing is I was talking to one of my homeboys last night via text, he he got mad at me, and I don't want y'all to get mad at me. I'm probably not gonna go see it opening night or opening weekend for one reason, and that's that reason is I want to be able to go watch a movie and enjoy it without all the fake coonery that's gonna be involved with this movie. I want to be able to go see the movie with people that I know will enjoy the movie. Like if all of us went and it was just nothing but people like us in there watching it, cool. I go see it opening night, but I don't want to go in there with people that gonna have Colt 45s and Fo Loco and ribs and chicken and all that
You
other
talking
shit.
about Westgate Theater?
Hey, look, when you only
Thing
got
of the
one movie,
past.
that's what it is. But I want to be able to go and enjoy it because I've been looking forward to this movie. I'm not as big a fan of Black Panther like TC is, but I know about Black Panther and I know the history and everything. So I've been waiting for a while to see this on the big screen, just like every other character that they bring out. And knowing that it's in Marvel's hands, I know it's going to be done right and it's going to be done respectfully. You know what I mean? But I just want to be able to go see it and enjoy it without people talking throughout the entire movie because they don't know what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? But I can't wait for it. I'm just gonna go see it solo Monday morning.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm definitely excited to see the movie. I mean, it's really not much that had already been said. I'm just glad to see that we've got 3 black superheroes that are on all fronts right now. We got Luke Cage, which um, I think they're actually taping season 2 now, if I'm not mistaken. You got
Yeah.
Luke Cage,
Heroes for
Black
Hire,
Lightning,
yeah.
and you've got Black Lightning. And just this week, I saw somewhere where they're talking about Cyborg is getting his origin movie. So, I mean, we're making strides, man. And
Cyborg been on and off though.
yeah, but you know, man. I think Cyborg did fine in that last movie, in that Justice League movie. So I think if they go that route, it'll be all right. I mean, this movie is going to be good. I mean, you got an all-star cast. I mean, I just really hate they left Samuel out, but you know, I mean, I'm still like, golly, man, how y'all leave the man who could put all this mess together really out of it? And but it is what it is. But it's going to be a solid movie. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I mean, I liked him. I loved him in Rocky. So I think it's going to be a really good movie. Larry, thanks for joining us, my friend. I'm glad to see you made it home safely, my man.
Mr. Crocker.
What's going on, peoples?
I think that Black Panther is going to be a solid movie, and I'm looking for this to break some records, man. I mean, hell, man. I mean, you got Jumanji that's been #1 for the last 4 weeks, or something like that.
Yeah,
but then they had nothing to come out with it.
Yeah, so I mean, you got a movie like Black Panther, man. This is a movie. I mean, they're going stone crazy already in the continent of Africa, So you can just imagine how this movie is going to do, and how as Tony said, you got guys paying tickets to see for underprivileged kids. So I mean, it's already making money before it's even out of the gate. So I expect this to be a definite win for Marvel. Larry, since you just walked in, we're talking about Black Panther, and what are your thoughts as we are just under a month away from the movie?
Well, I think it's going to be a great movie, man. I think it's going to establish Marvel for 2018. Of course, the Infinity War is behind it, but I think with Civil War, it gave people a good idea of what Black Panther could be. Chad Boseman played a good role, so I'm looking forward to see him increasing and expand on that role that he started in Civil War, and see how he can pull it off, and see how it ties into the Infinity War and keep things rolling.
All right, and Al,
I predict Black Panther is probably going to be the second grossing movie this year, behind Infinity War. Infinity War is probably going to make like $18 billion. Black Panther's probably going to now. Yeah, literally. I mean, if you look at this particular, just put this into perspective. Black Panther is the first Marvel movie that has actually sold out on its first showing, like the first night. So if that don't tell you this movie is gonna make at least, it probably is gonna pull, I predict, 200 million. Maybe that's that weekend, maybe more. So Marvel is poised to actually cash in, and if they cash in, I'm pretty sure we're probably going to be inundated with Black Panther. I'm sure we're going to get a second movie out of this. He's probably going to be featured prominently, perhaps in future Marvel properties as far as movies or whatnot. I'm excited as a comic book fan. I'm not as, unlike X, I'm not as adept as Black Panther as TC is, but any comic book movie, that gets the time of day, I'm gonna be there anyway. I believe that it's gonna be successful. I mean, I think the movie is gonna be epic. I mean, all-star cast. You got some heavy hitters in that movie. You got some people that can act and act their socks off. Marvel, the money behind the financing with the special effects. So I'm pretty sure, man, we're all in for a treat. One thing that I would like to say is that, for those who are actually supporting this movie like this, other endeavors that come out, such as the Black Lightning, get behind that too, because that might open up the doors for other Afrocentric, heroes to get their time in the limelight. It was unheard of some 5-10 years ago that Luke Cage would have his own TV show. People look at Luke Cage like Power Man. You talking about the dude with the yellow blouse on with the head,
blouse.
But that's what he said in the show.
Right.
So, and then even Black Lightning, man. So, go out and support anything that you can in reference to that. That actually would bring more characters as far as diversity to the forefront. But yeah, that Black Panther, man, I think it's gonna be busting. It's gonna break some records, man. And I'm probably gonna see it at least twice. So
me and Antonio, we've already got our IMAX theater tickets for opening night. We are set and ready to roll. All right, on to the next topic. You go ahead, Xavier.
Right quick.
Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier, I meant to say something about it when I was talking about Black Panther, but for those people who were trying to boycott Michael B. Jordan because his wife is not of black descent, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? That just goes to show that you all weren't supporting this movie to start with. Because this man, these are probably the same people that support George Lucas and don't realize that his wife is black, but you want to hit on this man because his wife isn't black or girlfriend or whatever. That ain't got nothing to do with his character in this movie. You support the movie, not this man himself. This man can make whatever life decision he wants. If he go out there and portrays an excellent Eric Killmonger, from what I've seen, he's pretty spot on. Shame on you for want to boycott this man in this movie because of his personal life issues or choices, not issues. I'm sorry.
Calypso organ.
I just had to throw that out there right quick, man.
Hammond B3.
Right. Tell them why you mad, son.
All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Our next topic is the other elephant in the room. We are I want to say 2 weeks away, maybe even a week and a half away from Dragon Ball Z Fighter. Fighter Z. You can tell by Antonio's reaction that he is ecstatic. The beta had its troubles coming out of the gates, which is what a beta is supposed to do. Actually, it's supposed to address issues that may pop up before the game, and they had a few server issues there. I did not get a chance to play, but I believe Xavier, Al, and TC. Oh, you did not, Xavier. So TC, Al. We know Larry was too busy playing Marvel vs. Capcom, so he didn't get a chance.
Street Fighter 5 Arcade.
Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, XP divided by 3, subtracted by 5. So, but TC, your thoughts on what you played, man? What should the people know, man? What's the thoughts?
You know what? This is what I'm gonna tell you, man.
Let me ask you a question before you answer that. Is this right now based off of what you have played? Would you put this over Marvel vs. Capcom right now?
Wait, which one?
It's Infinite.
Infinite. Oh yeah. Oh.
Omen King, are you watching, my friend? I will. Hey, MC, if you watching, say that again, Antonio. Say it again.
Easily.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
easily.
that's. I'm gonna go back. Man. And there's a game that's coming up on a 20-year anniversary in a couple of days, actually. And that game is Marvel vs. Capcom. It's about to be 20 years old. So you're basically gonna have Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It's gonna be coming out on on Marvel vs. Capcom's birthday. And you know what? The excitement that I felt back then 20 years ago is the excitement that I'm feeling for this game coming out right now. That's what I'm gonna say. The game, I mean, even in the beta, you didn't even get all the characters that's gonna be released for the game. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that for who I played with and for the time I played, it's well worth its weight in gold. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you that right now. That's a first day buy. You know, most of the time it's like, oh well, man, wait for the collector's edition, the discounted this, that, and the other. No, this is a first day buy right here. Just like Marvel vs. Capcom 20 years ago was a first day buy. This is a first day buy on this here. That's all I'm gonna got to say for it, man. That's all I got to say.
Al,
all right, I wish I had a Dreamcast to get it again.
What you talking about?
I still got mine.
I got mine, but I want the Dragon Ball Fighter Z on Dreamcast. That's what
no,
that ain't happening.
No, I don't know. You master time travel and
that system could support Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
No,
all right, Al.
From what I played, man, it was good. I liked it. I mean, of course, I never got a chance to play against anybody, but at the same time, it's like I really didn't even need that because I wanted to get a grip of how the game played, the controls, and with this one, they actually had more characters than they had the first time because the first one was by invitation only. This one you could download the demo on either system, Xbox One or PlayStation 4. But I spent majority of my time when I played it in the practice mode, and I liked it. I mean, it's just like little nuances that the game has. Like it has cut scenes from various storylines or story arcs, like when Goku first turned Super Saiyan. They actually play that out at the end of certain matches and stuff. If you win under certain conditions, you could summon freaking Dragon Balls, man. You could teleport like they do in the anime. They got, well, it's not instant transmission, but you know how they teleport in behind somebody and start fighting. They got that in there. I mean, it's a simplistic game, but at the same time, it requires some
done right.
Right, it's a game done right. So, I mean, as far as it goes, like TC said, for me, it's going to be a first day buy. My only thing is that I haven't really decided yet whether or not I'm going with the collector's edition or the regular version yet. So, I'm planning on getting it from your place of business, X. So, because y'all the only ones that actually still have the collector's edition available, right? The pre-order. So, I'll probably make that decision up before the end of this week. But yeah, it's gonna be a first. Yeah. He called me and let me know. But it's gonna be it's gonna be a first day buy. I think that game is gonna be pretty good. So, and being a fan of Dragon Ball Z, I was gonna get it anyway. So yeah, I think it's gonna be worth that first day pickup.
Larry, any thoughts on Dragon Ball Z, man? You picking it up, brother?
Probably not. But I think it's going to be a decent game from everything I've read and everything I saw. And I trust TC and Al's judgment. I think it'll probably be a decent game.
All right, well, it's a day one buy for me. I just got to go to Best Buy so I can reserve it so that I can get my Trunks figure pop that comes with it.
You know, that's the only thing I don't want about that game. As much as the few that I have, I don't even want it because of that. But I'm gonna buy 2 copies of it.
Your thoughts, Xavier, on
I
Dragon?
can't wait. I wish I could have played the demo every time I played. Every time I try to play it, it won't. There's some kind of issue going on.
Well, tomorrow they're going to reopen it up again. Am I correct in that? I think I saw that in one of our Facebook groups today. Yeah, so it's going to be.
You are correct, sir.
So for those who hadn't played it, you get a chance to get a couple of days of it in, which I'll probably do tomorrow evening. So we shall see. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. And this next topic is from time to time we like to toot our own horn. My headphone here is acting up. I lost my regular cable to it, and this one here is a makeshift. But from time to time we like to toot our own horn here on the show. And so we must toot our horn again, as this week, as of yesterday, it was announced that Image has optioned 22 of its comics for television and movie.
Oh, wow.
We told you so. We told you so. We told you so.
Killer Be Killed is greenlit for a movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Bingo. That's one of the ones. So if you listening to under the sound of my voice, go get your 7 to Eternities, go get your God Countries, go get your what else there? What else there we got? Your Spawns, go get your Bone, go get your East or West, go get them.
Black Sunday Murder,
Black Cloud, go get them.
I can't think of no other ones.
Yeah, go get them, because I told people Image animosity. Well, that's Aftershock.
Okay.
Yeah, but I told people last year. We told people last year that Image had properties that were just sitting on the shelf. These are books that, if you look, you can find them in the dollar bin.
Yep.
You can find them in the 50-cent bin. You can find them in the quarter bin. And if you if you go to the right eBay seller, they were used to give you this stuff with books you buy for free. They give them to you. So now you go look at Spawn and go see what Spawn #1 is going for, and you see what I'm talking about. You got books that were going for $1, now going for 40, 50, and 60. Mm-hmm. This is when we talk about speculation on the panel. This is what we're talking about, is getting ahead of the curve. A lot of people want to wait until they hear about it, and then they go rush out to grab it. But by the time you hear about it, it's already up. Case in point, last year, Larry brought to our attention X23 #2, All New Wolverine #2, the variant. I hadn't even thought about it, and all of a sudden it's a $200 book. You've got to get ahead of this stuff if you want to be in. I'm telling you, go get you. And the thing about it is, books like Killer Be Killed are still out there. They've got 4th, 5th, and 6th print. You can go get these books, and in certain cases, I want to say the 3rd print looks better than the 1st print. So
color scheme,
yeah. So I mean, you've got an opportunity to go out and get these books. And there's no telling what's going to become of it. And for those who don't know, Spawn is another black superhero. For those who don't know, so you've got Spawn, who, let's for all intents and purposes say, I'll just say that the movie that came out with Michael Jai White, I mean, for its time it was okay, but you know, he never really got a really good movie. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, hopefully they'll base this next Spawn movie off of what was on HBO. Now that's what you want to see.
He's not even talk in this one.
Yeah,
that's what he's not gonna speak.
Okay, well that's even better. Yeah. Sometimes it's just good to be seen and not heard.
Right.
So, but
start cashing for that today, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well you've got to go out and you've got to get these books, because these books are out there for the taking. Al, your thoughts on Image with these options, man?
Well, like you just said, we told you so. We've been talking And ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching, generally it's not apropos to toot your own home, but this particular panel, we have been doing what we are doing long enough to know. We get hip to the game. You don't have to tell us twice. Once somebody tells us something, we can pretty much roll with it. We've been telling people this whole time, look at some of these keys from the 70s and 80s. When it comes down, and I'm going to deviate just a little bit to Marvel. I mean, you look at Marvel now that's acquiesced the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. That's going to open up the door to a lot of characters and a lot of properties that, even though Marvel has already in their possession, it's going to open that portfolio up even more. But with the Image thing, we've been talking about that for the past year, picking up certain books. When we have our hauls, we show certain comic books that we picked up from Image and from DC and from Marvel or whatnot. A lot of these particular comics are eventually going to either make it to TV or they're going to make it to the big screen. Larry, myself, X, Matt, and TC talked about Kill or Be Killed. That particular book had TV show written all over it.
Yep.
All over it. I mean, not only just a TV show, we're talking about an HBO Game of Thrones type TV show where you got the uncut version, because the comic book is out there. You know what I'm saying? So you have the makings of a situation where you have a book that right now you could probably buy Kill or Be Killed #1, the first print, for maybe $10-15. But the minute, and this holds true pretty much for any type of speculation, the minute there's an announcement that comes out that says Kill or Be Killed will be a motion picture, or Kill or Be Killed will be a TV show on Showtime, the value of that book is going to go up exponentially. So it's not really rocket science, but at the same time, you got to know what to look for, when to look for it, and basically it's kind of like that Kenny Rogers song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You got to count your money while you're sitting at the table. It's one of those type of things where if you are keen to what's going on, to the happenings, and see, that's one reason why I love our group here as far as the panel. We delve in a variety of comics. We don't deal with just Marvel and DC. We go across the board with Independence, Image, Aftershock, DC, Black Mass, the whole 9 yards. The thing of it is right now, and I'm about to be done, one thing that the audience has to understand is that right now we are in, I'm not going to say a golden age, but we're in a boom where comic book movies and properties are the ish. It's the thing. It's the, it's taking over pop culture. Right. You got, people that are fans of comic books that have only been fans for, diehard, long-time fans, only been fans for a year. That goes without saying. But you have a situation where now you have opened up this whole market of comic books where you have Valiant Comics. Not to deviate from the Image thing, but Vin Diesel is supposed to actually be lobbying for the role of a Bloodshot or Rye, a Valiant Bloodshot.
I think he's confirmed too.
Yeah, it is confirmed.
Oh, yeah. See, but the thing of it is, this particular character, Bloodshot's been out since the 90s, and just like Matt said, Bloodshot. I used to live in McDonough, and there was a flea market right up the street from where I live. They had Bloodshot up there at that comic. It wasn't even a store. Dude just had long boxes in the middle of the aisle going into the flea market. How much were them books, man?
Pennies on the dollar.
They were 50 cents or $1. Yep.
Pennies on the dollar.
So now you got a book that was 50 cents or $1 not even a year or two ago, which once they actually announced this movie, like officially announced it, that book's going to shoot up. It might not go up to $200. It might not go up to $300, but the value of the book is going to increase. So
it depends on who makes the movie.
That too. And it depends on whether or not there's some type of special cover or variant cover for it as well. Right. But at the end of the day, when we talked about this whole Image thing, we had it pegged way back when, and we talked, and you go back to many of our shows, we talked about it. We talked about God Country possibly being a miniseries, Kill or Be Killed, 7 to Eternity, which is an excellent story. We talked about that as well. And for those that don't know, Image is the comic book company behind The Walking Dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Another book, Redneck. Another book is the makings of an HBO series,
Thief of Thieves.
Yeah, Thief of Thieves. So I mean, it's not too late to get into the game if you want to get into the game for an investment purpose and don't want to shell out a ton of money. You could get in the game and buy a few of those books and sit on them, or you could get them and read them and do whatever you want to do with them. But at the end of the day, just be on the lookout because there's probably going to be some more twists and turns coming in regards to, new books and whatnot that's going to be released. Oh, one other thing too, before I let it go, regarding Spawn, Todd McFarlane had announced that both he and Stan Lee were supposed to be making cameos in the movie. So I think that's pretty cool.
Excellent. All right. Antonio, your thoughts on Image optioning 22 properties, my friend?
Man, I think Al pretty much covered everything. X covered everything on there for it, man. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, we told you so. I mean, it's really all it boils down to, man. We told you so. But like you said, like Al said, I mean, you can still get your foot in the door with a lot of these comics. So it's not to the point to where they're out of range as far as out of reach to be able to buy. It's not like trying to go back and buy like a Walking Dead #1 or anything like that at this point. I mean, there's still a reasonable price if you want to go back and collect them and start getting into it on their for.
All right.
Unless it's Saga or
Saga is really, hey man, if you're trying to go get Saga 1 through 10, that's that. Listen, I've got number one. I've got number 1 third print, which is actually the lowest printed run of it. But I've got that, and I think I got maybe 2 or 3 in that 1 through 10 range. But they are impossible to come by.
And those books just came out 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And Saga 1 is a $500, $600, $700 book first print. And not only that, and I'm gonna be quiet. 7 to Eternity, the first print of that's a $150 book now.
Yeah, and that's hard to get.
Yeah,
it's hard to get.
Yep. Larry,
I just say, man, first of all, kudos to the panel. You guys are always spot on. But Image, to me, their books, their recent books as of late, just lend themselves to, like you say, TV shows or movies. The plots, when you look at modern day TV, those books just they scream to be say, hey, put me on TV, put me on TV. We're just in the middle of a boom right now, and anything comic related, you can Black Lightning. Now, I never thought I would see the day that I would see Black Lightning on TV. But here it is, and it's actually critically acclaimed on top of that. So we're just in the boom right now, and anything that's comic related, like you say, is infiltrated pop culture, and it's to a point where, like you say, with Black Panther, it's going to be interesting to see how many people know T'Challa's background, history, and first appearances now that, nobody was... A lot of people don't even know where his first appearance came from. But now you're going to have people flooding the theaters and tell you they were lifelong fans, and they can tell you everything backwards and forth about Wakanda and everything else. But that's part of it. That's what happens.
They can't say Wakanda, they say Africa.
Right.
Wakanda.
But yeah, man, Image, they're doing a great job right now. And the more of these comic book companies that can put their products out, it's better for all of us. So I'm happy for them.
All right. Xavier, did you get a chance? I know I stepped away. Did you get a chance to speak on this?
Not really. I mean, I stepped away when you did.
Okay.
The only thing that I really want to say about Image and whatnot, and especially since we talked about Killer Be Killed, my only thing is I beg you all, if you go out and start getting Killer Be Killed, don't get it just for monetary value. Get it because it's a great read.
Yeah, get the trade paperback, man. I mean, this I'm telling you, Killer Be Killed, man, is one of the best minds of comics I've read in quite a while. Gasolina just came out. Is another good one.
Right. It feels like a novel versus a comic. which that speaks volumes for the writers of this comic. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you read one issue, it leaves you like desperate for the next issue. So go buy it and read it. You know, if you then decide that you want to, flip it or whatever, that's on you, cool. But read it before you do anything else. That way you know what's going on when they bring this movie or show out. That was my only piece on it.
All right, well, I'm gonna try something here, man, before we go into our next segment. So I'm gonna see if this works. If it doesn't work, it is what it is. But I'm gonna try this, man, and see if this works.
Oh Lord.
Okay, can anybody hear that coming through, man? Then okay, well, I'll tell you what. Since y'all can't hear that way,
I barely hear something.
All I heard was you talking.
Everybody, we know what that
is. This is the defendant, Leroy Jenkins.
If you watched last night's episode of The Flash, that's all that ran through your mind. It was I'm going out. Get ready, because this is getting ready to be for my first rant of 2018. We are now getting ready to go into the MO zone.
I didn't even realize.
Tell them how you feel, son.
You want to talk about a disgrace before God in one of the worst episodes I've ever seen on TV of anything I watched in the last 15 years. This is probably it. I don't understand. I walked away from the show last season. I stepped away from it, and I said, if it ended, the last season ended to the mid-season finale, they're probably gonna come back with some. It's probably fixed. It's just like a leaky pipe. You hope that you go to the restaurant, you hope that the people fix it, that so you can wash your hands. Well, I go back to that same pipe and it's busted with tape on it, and it's water all over the place. It's worse than it was when I walked away from the show. And I asked Tony I said, Tony, I told him last night, he'll tell you. I said, hey man, I'll just call you back, man, when Black Planet come on, when Black Lightning come on. He said, no. He said, no, just stay with me, man. Just watch it. And it was absolutely horrible. I don't know what they're doing over there with that show. I mean, it is an absolute disgrace for a show to go down the toilet like it has. This show has become one of the worst shows I have ever seen. This is on Gotham type level. This is getting close to Gotham type level. I'm talking Azrael showing up, getting killed. I mean, this is absolute the worst of the worst. Worst of the worst. I couldn't. I sat there last night. I didn't say one word on the phone the whole episode. I mean, I saw crying on the stand. I mean, and then the doggone villain at the end. I mean, just absolute made it even worse. It's just it has to stop. It has to stop. I mean, it was absolutely anemic. It was like watching the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins about 10 years ago when it was a monsoon and it rained the whole game and nobody could do anything and the game was decided on the field goal. You wasted 3 hours of watching grown men play in rain and mud, and it felt like the same exact thing over again. Listen. This show has about one more season, and it's done with me. I'm just about done with it. It is absolutely garbage. This is slum of the slum. This is Maine doo-doo stain. This is absolute objectivity at its finest. This is absolute garbage. CW, shame on you. The suit who signed off on this needs to be fired on the spot. I'm going to go Garfield on y'all, man. Y'all remember Garfield back in the day of Garfield and Friends? He used to say a person should be drug out into the street and shot. Whoever signed off on last night's episode. This is worse than the musical episode, what I saw last night. This is worse than that. And I really was shocked that it could get worse than that. I don't understand where they're trying to go with this. First, it's a wedding. Okay, then we get away from the wedding. Now we're going to go to all this other stuff. We bring in villains who have nothing to do with the Flash. You bring in Brainiac. Brainiac should be on Supergirl. You've got the wrong villain on the wrong show. You've got Elongated Man who's just not getting the suit.
I mean, he ain't even got it yet.
Brainiac on Supergirl now.
No, it's Brainiac 5, ain't it?
5, yeah. Brainiac 5.
I mean, this thing is. I mean, that's in. You know, when I talked earlier and I said I alluded to what Black Lightning did for me. Black Lightning saved Tuesday night for me. That saved it because I was headed to bed, man, at about 8:30 last night. I was really close to going to bed like an old man. Yeah. I mean, it's just absolute garbage, man. That show was horrible last night, man. And I mean, it's it was so bad that nobody said anything in our little group. That tells you all you need to know. Normally, you've got Tony, you got Xavier, you got Vince, you got Al. They're just chatting it up. Nobody said one word because there was nothing to say. Because everybody knew
from at the beginning of the show, and that was
garbage. I'm talking hefty trash bags. I'm talking and I'm gonna go Antonio Coleman. I'm talking when you get up in the morning and you go out to the trash can. I'm talking the juice, that condensation on the trash can lid that you see in the morning. I mean that juice. That's how bad it was. Absolutely disgraceful. Shame on CW for putting that product out there. It's so bad. I should maybe write the Facebook page. Say, hey man, don't y'all do that again, man. Don't y'all do that again. Don't put that mess out there again. And it was absolute. I hadn't even seen what the talking heads had to say about it, but I can just imagine it was one of the worst episodes of all time of anything I've ever seen on TV, man. I'm talking this was Beauty and the Beast on CBS type stuff, man. I'm talking all the way back down the line. I'm talking absolute horrible. God. I mean absolute garbage. Garbage.
That was a terrible show too.
It was terrible, man. You watched it last night, Al? You saw it?
No, I was talking about Beauty and the Beast, but yeah, you
yeah, you saw that last night.
I watched the episode last night. I have something to say about it when it's my turn.
Yeah.
Hey man, the first round of 2018 is epic.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta take a deep breath. I feel about it now.
What's up?
Right. Tonio, you watched it with me last night, man. You endured the pain just like I did. It was one of the worst of all time. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, what can we say about this show, man, that you hadn't already said? I mean, that's
Hold on. TC, don't feel any pressure. Nobody's gonna have a better rant than he did.
Right.
Don't feel no pressure. Just say what you feel.
There's no comparison. I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, man, that I've pretty much I read ahead for the show to know what it was gonna be about, and I even gave Matt a heads up when he called me up, and I looked at the phone like, why is he calling for this episode? So he got on the phone. He's like, hey man, we got Flash tonight, man. Flash coming back. I'm like, Matt. It's gonna be a People's Court episode tonight, man. He's like, what you talking about? I was like,
the trial.
He got arrested. The whole thing is just gonna be trial the whole episode. So I mean, I went into it knowing what it was gonna be, but I do have to agree that this is a really bad episode, man. And I'll be honest with you, it's not gonna get much better going forward. I mean, I read ahead to see what they're planning on doing, and really they're going to try to develop the other characters more than they are the Flash. But I mean, there's still some things. There's still some things about that episode I had some questions about. Matt didn't mention, and one of them was in the courtroom with him and Iris, where he just came up with this, the power. Just out of nowhere, and they were like, how are you doing it? Oh, I don't even know. I'm just doing it. And it's like, wait a minute. What do you mean you're just doing it? You don't even know?
Because I was like, how's nobody else seeing it?
Yeah.
How's she understanding him?
We're just moving so fast that nobody else can see it. That doesn't even make sense in the middle of a courtroom.
Like, how she hears so fast?
does that mean that y'all just disappear out of the courtroom? Just all of a sudden just vanished, and then you just gonna reappear in like the split second that you gone? I mean, what is that?
So she's standing
But
there looking stupid the whole time while he talking to her.
Yeah, I'm sitting right here, man. I'm looking at Den of Geek right now, man, and like I said, I didn't even look at what they a two. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this was one of the worst of all time. You know what? Just put that kind of crap online, man. Just put it online. Don't put that on TV. Just for that kid, that's like a mark that just I've got to have it. I've got to have it. You put that on there as one of those whale episodes, man, and you quench that thirst. But you don't put that on television, man. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely disgraceful, man. That was that. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Man, it was so bad, man. It was so
it was
bad.
I mean,
It was really bad.
And I mean, it's what I expected. That's all I'm gonna say. It's what I expected out of it. So
Xavier,
I don't know.
Xavier,
Yeah.
you're a Flash man. Speak on it, brother.
Hey. I mean,
I'm living it, boy. I'm living it.
yo, hold on. I didn't like the episode, but I didn't dislike it as much as Matt. Good God. Hey, I mean, they had 2 or 3 good things in the episode, but I mean, damn. I would just say I won't say how I feel about the show. I agree with Matt because I don't want to get kicked off the panel. Now, all in all, though, that show was pretty bad, though. I mean, I did like a few things in it, but the things I didn't like about it outweighed what I liked about it more. I mean, this fake radioactive man or whatever they call him, the Fallen
Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah, that was stupid. How did he not recognize that everywhere he went, people were just dropping like flies, and I think they just wasted that. And then, I mean, I like what they did with the Thinker slash Brainiac. I like how they transfer him to another body, but now transferring him into this metahuman, so he has his powers on top of his powers. I don't get that. If that's the case, why don't you just go after Barry himself? Yeah, it is Duke.
I
But
think that's actually one of the end goals for him.
well, that was the end goal of him in the comics, really. But
Yeah.
he's going over this, that, and the other. I really thought the show was gonna get good when they showed up with the pictures of her with the wife kissing the new body, and that went completely left. I was like, wait a minute, what jury is gonna sit there and be like, oh man, I feel for her. Her husband, he can't fulfill her physically, so he's cool with watching her be with another dude. That's really, really when it lost me, and I found no hope in the rest of the season outside of maybe seeing the carved in the wall Henry Allen was here, which I think is the dumbest thing in the world, because how did he carve that in there? I mean, I didn't see no chips of brick. Like, I'm not even gonna touch that. But
it was blood.
Yeah, it was some hard blood, boy. Good God, that was medieval blood right there. But I mean, I'm not looking forward to the rest of the season. It pretty much confirmed that we're not gonna see the 5 heartbeats come back. What's his name? Kid Flash. When they see that dude come back.
I've heard about him going to Legends. I've heard about him going to Legends actually.
Well, you know what though? If he goes to Legends, I'm cool with that, because then we can bring the real the real Wily West back into Flash. We can go rebirth route like I've been begging since they started talking about Salvatore in season 3. If y'all don't believe me, I know the panel remembers, but for the viewers that don't believe me, go back a year ago, and I will sit here. You'll hear me say, "I wish we'd go the rebirth route and bring white Wally West into the show." But I mean, all in all, it's not going in the direction that I want or that we want, and I don't think this is the show that we deserve. You know what I mean? Now I know what Larry's gonna say. It's not for us, the Flash readers and everything, but damn, if it weren't for us, the Flash readers, they would have never had the money to put forward this show that we're watching and we're not enjoying it.
X, all I'm gonna say, bro. The Gifted was good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you right, man. You right.
I have nothing else to say about it. I ain't got nothing to say about it. I just said the Gifted was good.
I will admit, The Gifted is a very good show.
Yep, but this show is doo-doo. 1-800-976 doo-doo.
Oh, boy.
That's it. Garbage. Main doo-doo stain. There's no help. There is nothing. There's nothing there. There's fool's gold. Al, you said you watched it. Your thoughts? Go ahead, my friend.
The show was decent till they got to that whole scene with the picture and stuff. I said, okay, this is about to have a plot twist. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, she and there kissing the dude. They got pictures and stuff. Oh boy, elongated man, plastic boy, whatever his name is. And they got the pictures and stuff. So they about to set it up, man. They finna go into the courtroom and set it off on the right.
Right.
Man, she got up there and did that whole song and dance. I'm like, man, this is not real. This ain't even real in real life. Like, this can't be real life. And then the whole thing, like TC said, man, this whole thing, they talked for about 3 minutes. So what did he do? Did he go into a pocket dimension where nobody saw him? Did she stand up there for that whole time while they were up there? Right. Did he accelerate everything around them so what looked like 3 minutes was like 10 seconds? Because I find it hard to believe that he was able to do all that kind of stuff. They had their dialogue, and nobody looked over there at his set and said, hey, man, what happened to Barry Allen? Like, he just disappeared and stuff. Like, that right there to me was like a weak plot device that they just threw because they didn't have nothing else or no other recourse to actually put them together. In all honesty, and I'll let you speak in just a second, I was hoping that they went towards the avenue of him just telling folks that he was Barry Allen. Throw it out of court. You just have to deal with the fact that everybody know that you the Flash and go about your business with the hopes that something happen where a time travel come in and just erase everybody's mind like it normally happens in comic books anyway.
The Men in Black come in.
Right. But this dude opted to go through all this stuff, this damning evidence that was against him, he go to jail. The only positive thing I can say about him going to jail is that he's going to meet up with Goldberg. So I don't know what's going to happen out of that. I don't know what's gonna happen out of that, but hopefully Goldberg might just break him out of jail because he might be a metahuman or something. But yeah, after when it got to that point, it transcended jumping a shark, and it went over ATV and over. It went over ATV and over Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's where it went to.
With long,
you talking about,
man, see
y'all
telling me the worst wrestler in the world is finna be on the Flash?
Man, hold up. First off, we don't need.
Key on your keyboard.
Stay on topic because we ain't talking about Tom Zink. We ain't talking about the Booty Man. We ain't talking about Wrath or Glacier, okay? So Isaac Yankum DDS. We are not talking about Bash. Oh, hold on, man.
Stay on top.
But going back to topic, the whole issue, it was just, to me, like I said, up until that point when them pictures came into the scene, I was digging the episode. When that came and then the whole thing and then the dialogue between her and Iris outside the court, it's just like, okay, man, come on, y'all. This is ridiculous. So my attention span immediately just fell from that point forward. I'm like, okay, this is
ain't nobody
going nowhere.
The two wives went outside to talk.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. I just yeah.
Like, they ain't gonna hit the button because her husband dead and her husband about to go to jail. Then nobody see the need to go outside and be like, "Hey, y'all all right?
Right.
Wait a minute, why you not crying no more?"
Right. It was a lackluster episode to me. Very lackluster.
I got a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Flash's suit is friction resistant, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did he pull Iris into this speed force, speed time, whatever, for 3 minutes of real time and sit his happy about to go to jail ass down with a full 3-piece suit on? How did he not burn through his suit?
The world may never know.
Because it's the Flash on CW.
No, that's what I'm saying though. That's a little attention to detail that makes this show, that's taking this show down when all of us have high hopes for it, where all of us except Larry, because Larry doesn't watch it. You know what I mean? But it's one of those, it's little shit like that that make you really, really, really dislike this show. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Al.
Well, I think the best way I can answer that question is the fact of how we are to approach anything comic book or superhero related. The authors of the piece are expected for us to suspend our disbelief to a certain degree. Now, it's only certain suspensions I can get with my disbelief.
Right.
And after that, it's like, come on, man, this don't even make sense. Like, I was thinking something similar to the same way. I mean, I'm just thinking that overall scene was just, Barry Allen ain't never done that in the comic book. So how is he doing this in the show? So
I'm never scared of nobody's hearing and talking and nothing, man.
Yeah.
So, at this point, man, y'all being a dead horse, man. Clearly,
right.
Go ahead and bring Godspeed in, man.
Clearly, the Flash hasn't lived up to expectations. Clearly, it's a dud.
No, it's just season 3 and 4 so far. That's all. Cause 1 and 2
it has its hits. It has its hits. And
one and 2 was like out of this world.
So it set y'all up to let y'all down. Is what you're saying? The first 2 seasons.
I mean, Atlanta Falcons type stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah, you got 4 down, so can't put it in the end zone.
Nope.
Or you can just take a knee and win the Super Bowl, but you take a sack and fumble.
All right, we're gonna move on. There's another elephant in the room.
Go Brady.
More of the same.
Good Lord, we in
more
the zoo,
of the same. We're on a rant roll tonight. In about 3 weeks, AMC brings back
The Walking Sleep.
The Walking Sleep and Fear the Walking Sleep.
I think you're a little harsh.
I don't even know where to start.
Dead, man.
But before we go on about The Walking Dead, I want to be the first to say that I am extremely pissed off at how Fear the Walking Dead turned into Sleep of the Walking Dead, because that show started out so great and had so much promise, and it just completely went the course of The Walking Sleep.
Well, Xavier, I think what happened.
I wouldn't say that.
I think
it's on the way.
I think what happened, man, was that whole ranch. That ranch doomed it. And see, I know what Kirkman wants to establish people, but he establishes them at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You got these characters that really, you need to be focusing on folk like Rand. You need to be focusing on the old man. You need to be focusing on folks that need, that episode with the old man was the best episode of the whole show, of the whole series.
Which old man?
The fella, what's my man's name? No, the one where he was at that water treatment thing and
I know you
special ops. The special ops dude.
Special ops.
Oh, okay. The dad.
Ophelia's daddy. Yeah.
The only thing I think Kirkman does wrong, especially with The Walking Dead, is you would be in the middle of a action-packed season, and then he'll come around and put, like when they were trying to establish Morgan, and then you'll put the episode where him and his mentor was in the woods, and you like, man, what the world is this, man?
When
like
the cage bird scene,
right? You like, what is this?
Master Splinter.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of like killed the momentum that you had going. And don't get me wrong, once again, I know every out of 20 episodes, you gotta have some fluff in there. But hey, man, it's like get that fluff in a position like when you start in the season. Don't build your season up, then kill it with that type of episode. That's
10 of the 20 episodes of fluff. That's an issue.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say 10 of the 20 episodes.
I'm sorry, 9. 9 of the 20. Please forgive me for being one off. Because, dude,
you talking about this season?
I'm talking about period. But like even season 7, how many episodes was it?
Well, last season.
Yeah, that was last season. How many episodes?
That was look, last season was an anomaly because you got off to that high start.
Had 3 good episodes.
But you got off to that high octane start, man. And once again, when you do something on that level to start the season, you can't keep that up, man. Episode 2 immediately went to the toilet just because it couldn't sustain what season 1 had already brought to the table.
Episode 1.
Can they just change the way Negan talk?
That's too late for that, bro.
Yeah, it's done and dusted. Al, your thoughts on the walking sleep and Fear the Walking Sleep?
Well, I still hold out hope on Fear the Walking Dead because to me, it actually it was better towards the end. Now, yeah, the ranch kind of slowed it down, but to me, after they left the ranch and after they went their separate ways and to the sewer treatment plant and to the other location. To me, it actually picked up. As far as it goes, I think that Fear the Walking Dead still has the advantage, as I've indicated before, over The Walking Dead because it could be more non-linear than The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm. It can be whatever it wants to be.
Right, and that's what I've always said, that The Walking Dead, that's what they suffer the most is the being linear to the comic book. Now they've made every attempt to change it. But I think at the end of the day, it's one of those type of things where The Walking Dead is going to have to really shake things up. And I think they tried to do that when they supposedly murked Carl. Yeah. But I think that particular situation was too little too late. If they wanted to do something like that, I felt like they should have done it a little bit sooner because in my opinion, by them wanting to off Carl, it kind of gave me the impression that they were just doing something just to throw it to the wall to see if it stick. Right. Now you go back to what Larry just said in reference to the height. I agree with that completely, man. At the beginning of the episode, the season 7, episode 1, that whole thing with Negan and how he busts Glenn and Abraham's head, that right there was like the only thing that would probably top something like that if Rick was to die. Something along those lines. But then you still have that problem where, okay, Rick is dead. So what are we going to do next to outshadow or to outdo what we did with that? So I think at the end of the day, what they're going to have to do, because this actually got picked up for another season. I think season 9.
Season 9.
Yep. Season 9.
Yeah. So it got picked up early this week or last week for another season. So I think what they're going to have to do, because
you still got 15 million people tuning in.
Right. Exactly. Even though we think to a certain degree that the show is not that good now, they still, like Larry just said, man, 15 million people, that ain't nothing to scoff at. And that, when it's all said and done, that's 15 million people that brings in revenue through ads and everything. So they're looking at that money. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, but what are they gonna do? That was 15 million before they killed off Carl. Now that Carl is gone, what are they gonna do? Because they just lost a lot of clientele.
It'll drop to 12. Like I said, they'll chug through season 10, man, and they'll make 10 seasons easy. But the only thing Kirkman has to worry about, man, is how you're going to end this, because you don't want to be, and I love him, but you don't want to be Kobe Bryant at 37. You don't want to limp out of the league. You want to go ahead and get out, man. You want to leave like Jordan. You want to leave with 6 rings and say I'm done.
Scoring 60. You know what I'm saying? At least he went out scoring 60 against a nobody, really. But I mean, I don't see how they really gonna go out like that.
Well, like I said, man, Kobe, if you watch that whole season, bro, he had his fair share of bricks.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Which is what The Walking Dead has done. I'm just saying, if you want to have a fair comparison, he had his fair share of bricks.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They hurt.
And so, you want to see The Walking Dead go out the way it's supposed to. You want to see it maintain, but you want to see it maintain its viewership, and you want to give it a fair run toward the end.
Antonio.
Okay.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I hadn't since the breaks on both shows, Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead. I never did pick up and finish it. I mean, I got it recorded, but I never did go back and finish. I'm going.
You can go ahead and free
right
up that space. Season finale, the season finale of season 7, you're gonna get Sasha listening to her iPod, having a drink.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, it doesn't interest me at this point. And plus, I mean, with killing off Carl, it's like, okay, well,
how she had?
I mean, I mentioned this before that basically, I'm taking it that they're gonna basically make Judith take the place of Carl as far as the roles that they're gonna do with her, with what they did with him in the comic book, in that sense of it. And I think they're actually gonna do a fast forward timeline. Yeah, they're gonna fast forward timeline, probably like 3 or 4 years, 5 years, and they're gonna make her at least being able to walk around and talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, she only gonna be 9 years old.
I mean, you explain the Ivy on Gotham.
Chemicals. Explain anything on Gotham. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, yeah, I mean that's just what I see when I look at the show. That's what I'm thinking they're gonna try to do at this point.
All right, so let's move on. Let's go to over the holidays. Of course, we did our show early, our end of the year show before Star Wars came out. So we've all had a chance to go see Star Wars.
I haven't.
You still haven't seen Star Wars yet, brother?
I mean, I ain't finna walk the damn Star.
Okay, my bad.
That's inside, people. That's inside.
That's inside joke. All right, so we'll hold off then. We'll hold off.
No, go ahead.
No.
Folks can already ruin it for me.
Well, I tell you what. I'm just gonna say this. No, I'm not going. I'm gonna let Antonio go first. Tony, you go first on this one, man.
You know what, man? I personally like parts of the movie, and then there were parts of it that I was just like, I looked at Matt, and Matt just looked at me and was just like, we just knew that was just BS. I mean, with the whole thing with Leia, when she got blown out of the ship, and I just looked at Matt, and Matt just looked at me. I was like, all right. I mean, we knew at that point what we in for. But I mean, as far as for the story, for the main characters itself, as far as with Ben Solo and an old girl, Rey. I mean, the story it kind of left you wanting more. That's the way I felt like, I wanted more out of it. I felt almost like I was a little bit cheated out of what could have been a really good movie.
You were.
Especially with you bringing back Luke Skywalker in it. And I was just like, but Luke Skywalker was just pretty much like this broken old man that was just like, you know what, man? Yeah, Jedi, the Force, that's all good and everything, but I'm just living on this island until I die, and that's really all I'm waiting to do at this point. He's just waiting to die. So you want to learn about the Jedi? All right, I'll give you the QuickBooks version of becoming a Jedi. And that's pretty much what he did with the girl. And it really just seemed like even at that point, he really didn't care. And that's the sense that I got from him as far as when we're hearing him talk on there for it. But it had its good points. It had its bad points. I would give the movie, as far as if I was rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it about a 6.5.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna say about a rough 7.
I got a quick question. I got a quick question because this is why I said somebody ruined it for me. That's why I really haven't gone to see it yet. Somebody told me that Snoke died.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Once I hear that, what's the point of me going to the movie to see it? I might as well just wait.
They're gonna see the best part of the movie, which is the Imperial Guard fights. That's the best part.
The thing about it that me and Matt even sat there was just like, well, everybody was wondering who Snoke was, what his background, this, that, and the other, and it was like, oh well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore because he's dead now. It don't even matter who he is or what his name was, anything else.
Well, this is my question to a Star Wars fan. I'm not a Star Wars fan, me personally, but my question is, what do y'all want from these movies, man? Like this, you got this universe, and this is why I get so confused. You got this universe that nobody knows where the hell it's going. So they produce these movies, and they do this stuff. Then people get upset. Now, I me personally, I just like to read. So I read half these reviews, and they were saying it was the best one ever. Then I read another section that was saying now it's a petition to take the whole movie out of the continuity altogether. So it's like you got two sets of fans, and nobody seems to agree on anything as to where these Star Wars movies.
There's no in between from what I've heard.
Right? No, none.
Basically, what you've got here with this movie is you've got a full-on reboot. Is what you've got now. You're gonna have the diehards. And you're gonna have me, which is the casual Star Wars fan, and I just accept it for what it is. It is what it is. I'm just, and I'll say it again. I'm just glad I got to see the Imperial Guards fighting. That's all I wanted to see was the badasses of the badasses. That was it. But as far as the movie itself, as far as I'd say Rogue One was better than this.
Wow.
Much better.
Yeah,
I mean, just the last 5 minutes of Rogue One.
Yeah, so Rogue One was a better. Yeah, Rogue One was a better build. It was an overall better movie. It was well put together, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people. Well, at least I know that's kind of how I was looking at going into this movie. And to answer your question, Larry, the thing about it is that when you watch Star Wars, especially if you watch all of them, that's a hell of a lot of movies to watch.
Right.
You watch all of them, then of course the expectation is going to be much higher. And so you got guys that the way we look at some of our comics, some of these guys look at Star Wars the same way. It's feast or famine, and so for them to see people like Snoke, who's been around for like all these years, you've seen him, and then all of a sudden he just gets axed off, and it's like, okay, well, I'll let you, bro, and no explanation. I kind of can see why individuals have a sour taste. There's also, we really never got a clear understanding of what the hell was going on with Kylo Ren and old girl. That was never answered. So it was a lot of questions that were left unanswered here. I felt like it was more, honestly, in retrospect, sitting here looking at it, it would have been better off if they would have put this like maybe an extended version of the last movie on like what you don't like cut out. You know how they do with the DC movies? Just put this by itself somewhere, and then you can watch that or what have you. I really thought that on a scale from 1 to 10, I just do it like this. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give a movie a 7. And I'm only giving it a 7 just based off of some of the action scenes that were there. If we did not have those action scenes, I would probably take this down to about a 4. I
guess what my comment was saying is with Star Wars, it seems to be, and I can't think of anything else quite like it. I can compare it to, but it's like one of those things where it can't win. The producers, directors, they can't win because they stuck in a situation where no matter what they do, somebody's gonna be upset with some of the decisions they make. It's a catch-22 for them because it was the highest grossing movie of the year that came out. December
18th?
December 18th, and it still beat every other movie that was in the 300 days before it. So, of course, monetary, it's never going to lose. And it helped put Disney over the $6 billion mark. So, next December, you're going to see another one probably. But it just amazes me, man, when I look at how people look at it, that you got 50% of people who love everything about the franchise, and you got another 50% of the people who like destroy it all. It all sucks. So, but they turn around and watch every one of them. So I guess it's just funny to see it.
Al, I know you had some words there about it.
Oh, I'm trying to keep it short, man. But as far as it goes for me, the movie was okay. I just really, first of all, and I'm not gonna go on a rant or nothing, but the biggest issue that I had with this movie is the fact that, okay, so you had Luke Skywalker, which was the titular character of Return of the Jedi, right? So this dude done overthrown Darth Vader and Palpatine or Sidious in that particular movie, you know, through his father. He reconciled his dad back to the light. And then, of course, that's the end of Return of the Jedi. 30 years later, this dude is on Fraggle Rock. And he basically just chilling, saying that he don't want to die, or he wants to die alone because he attempted to restart the Jedi Order with his nephew Kylo and a few other Jedi Padawans. And because of the fact that he saw his nephew with so much tremendous power that it scared him, he tried to kill him. I don't get that. This storytelling to me was just very lacking. And it's like, okay, so you go from being the most heralded person in the galaxy to basically banishing yourself because you had this one particular issue that, of course, Obi-Wan didn't show up to give him no guidance. Qui-Gon didn't show up to give him no guidance. And then when Yoda showed up in the movie, Yoda showed up when he was about to burn all the Jedi manuals up. I'm like, what happened? I'm laughing like, okay, so what happened to Yoda when you were getting ready to kill your nephew? Where was he at? To me, it just didn't seem like that the movie, it gelled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have expected more of Luke Skywalker as a character, considering that fans of the Star Wars franchise hadn't seen that Joker on screen in over 30 years prior to The Force Awakens. That was my big issue. Of course, the issue with Snoke. And, you know, the argument with some people is, well, he wasn't that big of a character anyway. So you look at the whole progression. Snoke basically came around after the Empire was defeated. He actually helped create this First Order where they pretty much have amassed a whole nother army, which basically rivaled the Empire back when Darth Vader and Sidious was on the scene. This man has created this First Order, got all these troops, all this firepower, all this weaponry, but you telling the audience that he's not important. I didn't get that. And to me, that was the most frustrating part, that they didn't at least give us the common courtesy of saying, this is who he is. This is how he came to be. This is how he came into contact with Kylo Ren. So amongst those particular issues, there were some smaller issues. I pretty much was like, okay, this is a lackluster movie. And basically it was just one of those things where, and at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's since Disney about to milk Star Wars anyway, because they said they were going to keep on making Star Wars movies. So they'll be making Star Wars movies. It'll be C-3PO's great grandson in these movies. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care. As long as the movie actually brings in revenue,
they generate cash,
they're going to keep making them. But see, that doesn't necessarily money. Right, but that don't necessarily mean. I mean, yeah, you making the company money, but I mean, I'm gonna use the Transformers as a point of reference. Those movies suck. All of them suck. The first one was only decent one.
They didn't all suck.
But you know, each yes, they did.
The last two, no, the last three.
All of them past the first one. They had Eddie Winslow playing. Eddie Winslow playing the voice of Jazz in the first one.
The first two of these.
The second one.
The first one was great. The second one was good. The rest of them were terrible.
Matt, mute his mic.
They had Devastator with balls, man. That was not that one cool. But what they called Devastator. But
Two
I mean,
different Devastators between 1 and
it was
2.
yeah, that's true too. But I mean, I thought the movie was lackluster. I mean, TC is being very liberal with that 6.5. I personally would give it a 5.
Oof.
So yeah.
All right, well,
But you stinging out here, boy.
yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah, boy, terrible.
Ain't no love in the heart of the city.
It sure ain't.
And speaking of staying with the Disney theme, let's roll on over. Disney has canceled all of their animated shows on Disney XD. We all know what that's about. We all know what's going on. We talked about this last year. Keeping with Larry's theme of it's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamins. Dollar, dollar, holla, holla. We know that they are launching their online streaming service, and that I can guarantee you right now, today, book it. Every show that got canceled will be sitting right there day one when that streaming service launches, because they know that there is money to be made, and they're going to make sure that they get asses in the seats when that opens. And I'm going to tell you like this. Yeah, y'all can come out with that streaming service, but if I don't see Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, and DuckTales and Tailspin, well,
no. You know, nobody wants Tailspin.
I can deal without Tailspin.
Yeah, nobody wants Tailspin, bro. Nobody wants to see the remade Jungle Book.
Man, I want Tailspin.
But you know, this is the thing. And Antonio alluded to this last year. At some point, there's enough streaming services out there. I mean, it's enough is enough. I mean, we're gonna have a streaming service for every single thing out there.
That's what your cable gonna look like, man. You're gonna pay for the channels you actually want to see.
No, it won't look like that with Cox Cable. Cox Cable is gonna anal rate.
Yeah, Cox, you paying for channels that you don't watch.
Well, what I'm saying, but that's why cable is going out, because people paying for 300 channels and only watch 10.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this net neutrality thing take off, because this is that would directly affect these subscription based services, and I think that I mean I'm not gonna knock Disney for it. I mean I just hate that they're taking off good shows off television that they could keep on right now until they get everything organized. When is that supposed to launch? Does anybody know? TC, any idea? They hadn't announced it yet.
I can tell you like this: it's stupid but smart on their part, because this is really all of them pulling them shows and basing this streaming service is contingent with if the full purchase of Fox passes through, which is for another 17 months. So if that purchase doesn't fully go through, they just pulled all those shows for nothing. Because if you think about it, most of the properties that they have are on Netflix and Hulu, so that means they're gonna be pulling from Netflix trying to convert Hulu over to the Disney streaming service, which if that merger don't go through, it's pointless. You know,
we all know. We all know that.
Right now, it says 2009. It says Disney has 2 streaming services in the works. ESPN is gonna have their own streaming service, which is also going to shake the game up, and Disney launching in 2019.
All right, well, so we'll see. Anybody want to speak on that before we move on? How you doing that one more time? I'll do it again for me.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Disney can't lose at this point, man. And Disney gonna get to the point where, like X was saying, that you gotta be careful how much power you get, because once you get all that power, man, right now Disney control, man, with the acquisition of Fox, man. I think the merger is gonna go through, but it is gonna face some scrutiny in this. They gonna scare them a little bit. They're gonna make them sweat before they approve it. But I think they are gonna approve it.
Are they gonna have the Baltic movies available for streaming if it's their own streaming service?
I mean, you would think they would,
because that could be a game changer right there.
That's gonna be a real game changer, man. Think about how many movies Fox come on regular television. Right. If they could pull and put on I'm talking about, man, your TV gonna be dry.
If you can go and watch all of the Disney animated movies and cartoon movies that were ever made whenever you want to, that's gonna kill Cox, Dish, Direct, Comcast, whoever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Cable's
But
time. Cable's time is cut. It ain't got to. Cable might have 5 years left on the show. It might.
I'll be straight with that because then the internet will be cheap as hell. Hopefully. No, they're gonna ramp them prices
Yeah,
up.
gonna rank you.
Yeah, they gonna ramp. Yeah. Fucking internet gonna be $300.
Look, Cox already got me, man. I went from 109 to 164. I don't know when it happened. I gotta call him tomorrow.
All right, so let's move on here. Shazam has been officially announced. Brother Al, the Shazam master. Oh, you see, already on standby. Look at that. Shazam. Oh, 2 dose. So once again, that was another book that we told you all last year that you could get for pennies on the dollar. And Al, what is that? TC, can you go look on eBay and see what we've got Shazam #1 going for? And while he does that, I'll continue on. These books are sitting, well, and they may still be sitting in dollar bins. Who knows now? But these books you could be found. Al, we've seen that book when we go out 2 or 3 times at different places. We've seen that book. We saw that book when we were up at Origin last year in the dollar bin. You know, that book can be found for pennies on the dollar, still out in the wild. But now, Antonio, you got a price on it?
I've got a CDC 8.5 for current bid of $52.
See, it's already going up. Already going up. And how many bids on it?
21.
21 bids. You see that? So that book's what's the ending on that list?
3 more days.
Okay, so that book's I would predict that's gonna probably end at about, probably about 75, 85.
Probably more than that.
I would say right at 100. I was gonna say somewhere in that range.
Yeah, so
about 95. Yeah.
So this is a book that you could have gotten in the dollar bin. I mean, Al, didn't you say you found your $8, $9 for a set or something like that?
I got $50 for like 6 of them, which included 1 through 6, and then I got the other one off of eBay for like $8.
So there you go. I mean, it is there. The opportunity is there. You got to get these books early, man. You got to move quick. Thoughts, Al, Shazam. That's your baby.
I just hope they do it right, man. That's all I ask.
No, this is DC we're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
They got a new person in charge though, so I think I'll be in good hands now.
I think Jeff Johns, bless you. Jeff Johns is supposed to be in control now, and Jeff Johns, he's actually written. Say what now?
Asian dude.
No. Now that Asian dude was supposed to be getting the boot because supposedly he was the one that messed up Suicide Squad and Justice League by telling them
they just brought that Asian dude in because of the dude that messed up Justice League and Suicide Squad and BBS.
Okay, well he better do something right, man.
Look how bad DC is. Y'all got to argue over who is bad enough to replace who was bad.
Man, I'm not arguing. I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is
he had like the MCU been the greatest thing since it ever started.
The sliced bread, bro.
They had their downfalls too, man.
Like what?
We didn't already establish that the Incredible Hulk was not good. We established that was the first movie of the MCU.
The first movie of the MCU was Iron Man.
I mean, I'm sorry, it was the second movie.
Blade.
And Iron Man 3. Even though you like Iron Man 3, that movie was an abomination.
I didn't say I liked it. I didn't say I liked it. What I
you
said,
defended the hell out of that movie.
That movie was on the level of last night's episode.
No. What I said about that movie was that it's not bad. The only bad thing about it is
somebody please find the thread and the episode that we aired. The
only thing I said was the
3 days. Finally, I will.
That's the only thing I said.
You said what now?
The only thing I said about that movie was the villain was terrible. If they had actually not advertised the Mandarin in that movie wouldn't be bad at all.
I hate to say this, but I am glad to cut you off right now because me and Al both in our little post, literally both of us against you, was sitting there throwing out at you how if the way that they messed up the villain was that bad is what made the movie bad, and you kept trying to defend that against both of us.
You can do it.
Huh?
You can do it because come on, bro. It's like we were talking about The Dark Knight Rises. It's the same thing. It's like the movie itself, or Batman vs Superman. You could clean up all of Batman vs Superman's problems by just renaming the movie. Honestly,
yeah, that was a recent conversation between me and you at Best Buy, though.
But I'm saying, but it's the same. It's the same thing,
right? But
the movie itself is not technically a bad movie. It's the expectations you had. No, the movie itself. Yes. And look, you talking to me now. The movie wasn't terrible.
I'm looking at you.
But what happened was the expectations you had for that movie with the name of it killed that movie.
Right.
If you name that movie like we said, Dawn of Justice or Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice, that movie actually comes out a whole lot better on the other end than naming it Batman vs Superman.
Right. But I also sat there and said how instead of doing the stupid Doomsday or the fake Doomsday that they had, they could have named him Bizarro, and that would have ended up making Batman v Superman an entirely better movie because it's a retarded clone of Batman. I mean, Superman. I'm sorry, but I also sat there and said how if they
I take it back. That was a terrible movie. I take it back.
Okay, all right. Because remember, we were sitting there talking about.
You're right.
Yeah, hey.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. I was going to wait to see TC, but TC's probably having anything to say on that. So let's move on. Tom Holland is now aboard on Venom. I have low expectations for this Venom movie.
Me too.
I know it's lethal protected and all that good stuff. I just don't quite understand where they're going to take this. So I'm going to let y'all have this one. TC. Venom. Tom Holland. Does it intrigue you, my friend?
I mean, it does. I do have an interest in it because, I do like Venom. But like you said, I really don't know what direction they're going to go in this. Yeah, because you hadn't seen a trailer. You hadn't seen anything. You just know who's in it at this point and who's directing it. But besides that,
we barely know who's in it. Outside of Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Al,
you know it's based on Lethal Protected, but that's about it.
Right.
It don't make me no mind either way. To be perfectly honest with you, every time I think about Sony doing a Spider-Man movie, I keep thinking about Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I honestly believe that made so that Sony can keep an iron in the fire, so they can keep what properties that they have pertaining to Spider-Man at bay. Even though they've worked that deal out with Marvel Cinematic Studios, the Marvel Studios, that's why I just think it's dumb to do a Venom movie without the origin of the symbiote suit. I think it's dumb to actually do a Venom movie in the capacity where you're actually alienating Venom, even though he doesn't really need the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Venom has actually crossed paths with, Captain America more times than any, the Hulk. But that goes without saying. At the end of the day, I like Big Honey in my tea. So, that it has nothing to do with the price of tea in China as far as, what I think, man. But that'd probably be one of the movies that I will not go see when it's released. So, yeah.
All right. Anyone that's on the panel want to speak on Venom?
It can't be worse than Spider-Man 3.
I concur.
That was terrible.
I don't think it could be worse than that, man. That movie there, the Venom in that movie alone. If you give me a Venom with better CGI or special effects than that, then it's already better than Spider-Man 3.
You give me a better Eddie Brock, then it's already better than Spider-Man 3.
But I think you basing it on, you put Tom Holland in it, which is going to automatically up the stakes for it. which is a great move on their part. Right. You based it on Lethal Protector, which is the storyline that they actually buried the hatchet. So I think that was a good move in itself.
But wasn't that Flash Thompson, not Eddie Brock?
Lethal Protector was Eddie Brock.
It was Eddie Brock. Okay. Okay.
Yep. That was the first. That was like the first limited series he had.
Yep. Sure was.
So that's one that Matt say. Look, every comic collector got Lethal Protector.
Yeah, man. Joker collectors, they come to you and say, "Hey, man, I got Lethal Protector." Oh, I got 4 of them, dog.
Right, red foil cover.
Yep. Everybody.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on here to our top 10. I forgot to put it in our prep thread, but we'll just we'll hash this one out tonight together, and we're gonna go top 10 promo people in wrestling. So I'm gonna let everybody throw out their names, throw out whoever, and we'll just have an open flow discussion. And number 10 on the list is Mean Gene Oakland.
You gonna put Mean Gene on there?
Why not?
Mean Gene was a yeah. Hey, that's just as worse as me putting Gangrel on my list.
Oh, he admits it.
If I could put a red check on my box right now,
he admitted it. All right. DC, throw a name out there. What you got, man? What you got?
I'm gonna go Mr. Fuji, man.
Hey, man, this list is getting worse and worse. Man.
That man,
I could have went Jim Cornette. No.
That's where you should have went. Jim Cornette.
Yes, you should have.
Oh man,
Mr. Fuji.
Hey, just for the record, Tony, you know this is recorded, right?
He spoke
right.
Hey, man,
one word, Gangrel.
Hey Al, look, we can no longer talk about you. We got Mean Gene Oakland and Mr. Fuji.
Right.
Cutting Pro Bowls.
We're going to call this Henson forever.
Hey, man. Gene Oakland used to say, due to the sensitive subject nature, we cannot discuss this on the app.
No, man.
That don't make her good.
Oh, man. Well, Xavier, who do you got?
Good Lord. I mean, shit.
What you got over there? Call out. What you got over there, man?
You want me to call out all 10 of them?
No, just pick one.
One, as far as promos, is Ric Flair.
Well, I mean, that's
I think would be number 8.
You can throw out Jimmy Hart.
Man, I tell you what, I got one for y'all. I will redeem myself. How about this? How about Rick Rude? How about that?
Number 10?
We're just throwing him out there randomly.
Oh, okay.
We're just randomly throwing him out there.
Hey, he almost made my list.
You fat out of shape.
Oh yeah, Rick Rude top 5.
Yeah. I have him on my list. Yes.
Yeah, Rude, he top 5. I say number 10, bro. I put somebody like Hulk from the Legion of Doom, bro. That dude was terrible at cutting promos, man.
But it was so funny. It's like the Ultimate Warrior. He was terrible at him, but it was so funny and memorable.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Ultimate Warrior, my top 3, man. Just cause like I said, they were top. They were so memorable.
Hey, he was my top 10.
You might mute it, TC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, man. Number 1 has gotta be Scott Steiner, man. I mean, who?
Hey,
Big Papa Pump.
Who else can be?
God, I sure had him on my list and I scratched them off.
Gotta. Hey, man, you hook up, man. Look at Al.
If you hear me.
Hey, man, the world turns on a 36-degree axis. Al, what you got over there, man? Call him out. What you got over there? Let's see what you got. Call out somebody. What you got on your list, man?
Man, I got Jim Cornette on my list. He like in my top 5.
Bobby the Brain.
Oh yeah, the Brain.
Of course,
yeah.
The Bobby the Brain, the Hammer Naggers, man.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all gonna totally skip Jim Cornette? Man, Jim Cornette.
Oh, Jim Cornette was good, man. Nobody stopped. What about Paulie Dangerously, man?
Oh, I forgot about him. Wow.
I don't have him on my list, but
with the Wall Street Journal.
Alexandria with Richard Morton.
Brother Love, man, had his own show.
Yeah, Brother Love, keep going there. I love you.
Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho. Yeah, Jericho is definitely on that list. On the list.
Oh man.
Hey, bro, Mark Calloway. Nobody can leave off the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I got Raven on mine.
Yeah, Raven was a good promo, man.
Raven.
Yeah,
what? Man, you crazy.
ECW?
You didn't watch WCW, man. Raven cut some hellified promos in WCW.
Sure did.
Man.
Yeah, he did. And ECW too.
Yeah, that's why I say I remember ECW.
Yeah, WCW Raven was cutting massive promos, man.
Man, that dude, man, he was cutting promos like one of my other people on my list, Bray Wyatt. He was cutting them type of promos.
Well, Bray Wyatt is, he's like a Last of the Mohicans type deal, man.
That's a promo machine right there, man.
Yeah. Y'all have Ted DiBiase on your list?
Oh yeah, you know me and Matt were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, of course.
Anytime, man, you could bring a dude on stage and tell a kid bounce the ball 10 times, and I give you $100. And he kicked the ball at number 9, bro. Hey,
diabolical.
Just like me and Matt said, man, these people, if they can control your emotions, bro, if they can make you love or hate them by the words they shout out of their mouth, man, hey, you can cut a promo.
Right.
That's the problem when we talk about wrestling today. When we talk about watching wrestling. Or if they call it now sports entertainment. These guys can't cut promos. No, these guys fundamentally struggle at promos. Like Al said, Bray Wyatt is the last of the last. And you've got, I cannot tell you anybody else on that roster that in WWF currently right now, that's there, that can cut a successful promo. I mean, maybe, depending on who you talk to, you could probably say New Day. And that's just because they can get the crowd kind of behind them or whatever. They can kind of cut the fool or what you call it. Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal was a guy that could cut promos really good too.
Is it they can't cut promos, or are they seriously censored versus the 90s characters?
I don't think they can cut promos, Larry. I just really don't think these.
Right now.
I think it's a combination of both.
I think, man, Vince let them dudes go out there and be themselves, man. Because DX, man, when they went out there and cut that Monday or that Monday Night Raw promo where they got the letter saying that they were censored and they had to beep all that stuff out, that's classic. But I don't think you could really pull that off in 2018.
Go ahead. As much as I don't really care about this dude, John Cena, he cut some pretty good promos.
Yeah, he did. He was okay.
You know, so I mean, but ain't nobody on the current WWE roster, in my opinion, can cut a promo like Bray Wyatt though.
That's what I think about you talking about John Cena couldn't cut a promo. That's what I think about you.
Hey man, I'm look at. I am not a fan of
No, I ain't a fan either. But he was decent, man.
That's Reggie Durham. If you're watching, that's your shout out for tonight. Yes, your John Cena shout out. Yes, your John Cena shout out for the night. All right. No, I just you don't see these guys doing it, man. You know, me and Larry was talking last week.
They don't know how to do it.
Well, that too. That's one of the problems, and one of the things is that, you know, like me and Larry was talking. You know, you look at like a Dusty Rhodes back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cutting a promo. You know, you could get, but he was the working man. You can get behind.
He was a professional promo pusher.
And had a black lady with him.
Yeah, you could get Diamond Dallas Page, man, DDP. You know, he got, you know.
Like Al said, the big boss man, bro. Yeah, he was having hard time.
Yeah, man. Me and Xavier, man. Back in the day, we were sitting there in the living room, man. I never forget. We were sitting there watching SummerSlam. And he said, "Me, G, what kind of bird can't fly? A jailbird." Marty, you want to come take me? We're gonna take you on down there. We're gonna take you. We're gonna give you some hard time. You know. You don't see that kind of stuff that gets, you know, the captivation. And we don't even want to talk about these 90s promos. Like Larry was saying, you know, these 90s Wars promos, man.
Hey, man, the Macho Man with the teacup, bro.
Oh, man, the cream of the crop.
You know what? One of my favorite Macho Man promos. One of my favorite Macho Man promos, man. And I don't know if y'all can remember this. Al, you might can remember. I know TC probably do. But was when Macho Man came out on Monday Night Raw. He came out right when the show came on. He came on and he threw a chair in the middle of the ring and said he wanted to talk to somebody with some stroke.
Oh yeah, I do. I do know that. I do.
He said, I need to talk to somebody with some stroke. Who got some stroke right here? If you want his title shot, man. You know, that kind of stuff, man, is what made it. I mean, you know, I think I really think, and you know, I go back to this all the time. One of the worst mistakes that Vince McMahon did was to buy WCW. That was one of the worst mistakes he's ever made, because it took away the competition, and we all know that competition makes you better.
I don't think it was the worst thing he did. I think the worst thing he could have did was made it public. Like I say, I think if he had left that last episode of Nitro like it was with Shane McMahon,
I can agree with that too.
WCW, and they had left it like that, I think it would have been great, because
that's a very good outlook. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it, because back in the day, you had those. Al, you might can hit me on this, but I cannot remember what territory it was. But they used to have that cross professional wrestling territory show where they would have like folks from AWA, they'd have folks from WWE, and they'd have, you know, all of, and they'd all come on one show, and they would like kind of like a wrestling super show.
Yeah, it used to be on. They used to show it on ESPN though. I remember that show.
Yeah, and I mean,
I can remember being younger, man, and like real young, and my cousin always telling me, you know that dude that's announcing, he owned WWF. And you talking about Vince McMahon? I'm like, man, how in the world he owned the company? He's sitting there as an announcer. Then later on, it comes out that he owns the company. So I mean, you know, it's all in how you actually, like. I think if he had bought WCW and not actually came out on a public level and say I own it, but kind of left it to speculation, does he really own it? But left it as two separate entities, I think it would have worked out better.
Let me just say this, man. I think in addition to that, another thing that he should have actually done when he purchased it, man, I don't understand why he purchased the company and then proceeded to bury most of the talent that he acquired when he picked up WCW. Right. To me, that didn't make any sense. Like, I know he probably picked it up just for the library in reference to what they had regarding, you know, the Starcades, the Great American Bash, Nitros, and Thunders. But if you wanted that to be a viable wrestling federation, he should have just stayed the mysterious benefactor for as long as he could. He should have kept them a separate entity and only got involved when it pertained to booking. My whole thing regarding that, and I'm about to be quiet, they should have kept both of those companies separate, and they should have had super shows between them, like for the pay-per-views, like for WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble. That will be the only time that they would actually have any type of contact with each other. And I think it would have worked, because he would have still been able to come into certain areas like the South and still had a presence. Because I know when he bought WCW, that's when I really started watching wrestling. Like, I was like, man, Vince McMahon on WCW, garbage. Especially after he started dogging out folks like Booker T, had DDP acting like a dadgum man. That's some garbage.
I loved it. I ate it up, man. And I ain't gonna tell no lie. Knowing Vince McMahon, he probably knew it was a bad business move, man. But knowing the ego and everything that Vince McMahon truly has, think about it, man. These people dogged you out for years, and you had to struggle when you were the number one federation for years. And these dudes actually came up, took your stars, tried to bury you. Yeah, to be able to say, man, I bought them. Oh yeah, I did it just because I could. Because he probably could have honestly left both of them. He didn't have to buy them probably. It just
I bought it from my dad. Now I'm buying this whole other one.
Yeah. He bought it because he could. You know what I'm saying? And to come back and take the talent that was actually trying to kill him and make fools of him, they had to take the money. It wasn't nobody else. It was nowhere else to go.
Well, Ted Turner said he regretted selling them. He said that's one of his biggest, to this day, one of his biggest business mistakes was selling WCW.
His biggest business mistake was letting Eric Bischoff take over.
That too.
All right, fellas, let's go ahead and move on here. We'll move on to our pulls for the week. Antonio, we're gonna open up. You're gonna be the first person this year for 2018 to roll out your hauls, man. What you got over there in the stash, man?
These actually just came in today for me, which a couple of them are old, but
We know how Midtown works.
Shipping. Econo shipping on Midtown, man.
Yeah.
You ordered them 3 years ago.
Batman 38.
Oh no!
They're doing a second print of this already.
Al, you need that, man?
I do.
I got an extra copy, man. I picked up one because I figured somebody was gonna need it.
Appreciate it.
I picked up the NWO Walking Dead. And I got the Rick cover for it too. I didn't even know they were doing that till later on.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hey, pull that back up. I didn't see that.
Yeah, they did 2 covers for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's your Rick cover, and then you got your standard NWO cover. And then I got in my my Rise of the Black Panther #1, which they're only gonna do 6 issues of it, which is basically doing like an origin story for Black Panther.
Which they changed the origin, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I hadn't read it yet. Like I said, I just got it today. But
6 issues, they're gonna change it again.
Yeah.
How many books? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna show you. They got the movie variant.
That one was dope.
They got the Marvel variant. It's got Professor X on it, and then they got the blank variant on there for it.
How many books has Black Panther had in the last 2 years?
4.
If you go by the legacy one, it's been over. I think it's over 700.
No. I mean, as far as different, like the titles, because they had World of Wakanda, and then
you got World of Wakanda, you got Black Panther and the Crew, you got the original Black Panther, you got what was the other one? There was one more other one, I forgot the name of it.
I was gonna say I think 4.
Yeah, it's been like 4 of them.
And they do an all new Black Panther.
That'll probably be next.
Well, actually, they are doing another Black Panther on there for it. So,
all right. Well, I'll go follow suit. I picked up a sensational She-Hulk #40. This is the Innuendo cover. Yeah, this is.
That's the what?
The sexual.
The innuendo.
Innuendo.
You gotta let him have it, man. You gotta let him
hey,
Indo.
Hey, you wrong for that, man.
The innuendo.
gotta let him have it, man. You gotta let him have it.
Ass.
He's the host of the show, man.
Oh, man.
All right, we've got Spectre #2. Shade the Changing Man #1. This is stuff I got up at the Book Nook.
Oh,
You snuck up there and then tell nobody, huh?
didn't tell nobody.
Wait, hold on, man. Wait a minute.
He was working.
I had a friend. I had a friend that wanted to go up there, so we went up there. So,
Okay.
Oh, okay. You told me about that.
yeah, Karate Kid, #1. This is not that Karate Kid. This is the.
it's not the Ralph Macchio special.
No, it's
Right.
not. It's not. Cobra
Tweak the legs.
But speaking of
Cobra
Cobra Kai, I did get Cobra #1.
Shoot, no.
All right.
Yeah, which is that was pretty. This is hard as hell to find, man. It's a hard book to find.
That's a DC cover, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
DC.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe #1.
He man.
You bumbling fools.
You bumbling fool.
You bumbling
You
tit.
bumbling. I can write a book about what you don't know.
Yeah. Badger #1. And we have Aquaman #35. First appearance of Black Manta. Yes.
That's nice.
And we have Aquaman 57, the third appearance of the Black Manta. So that is my haul. And I think the other thing here is just basically the same book that TC had. And I did pick up a few things. Picked up something for Al.
Icon.
Icon. And you also have Secret Weapons from Valiant. So I got those in the 50-cent bin at First and Charles. And that's it on my end. So, Larry, we know you got variants galore.
Bro, actually,
first episode and Matt didn't go to Slab City?
Right. He nowhere near.
Whoa.
Hey man, I just spent $3,000 on a new computer, man. Hell no, I can't.
Yeah, I get that, but we 2 weeks in the 18. I'm surprised.
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah,
around the corner.
He gonna have Slab County.
Yeah, I pretty much to put everything up, man. I ain't, because we were closed today. So for the last 2 weeks, I got about 40 books, but they all put up.
Yeah. All right. We know. That's just 40. That's just 40.
And every single one of them are Marvel.
You might have Scooby.
That's the only way to do it.
Scooby-Doo.
I started getting Scooby Apocalypse, man. I might need to start back though.
All right, Al, you'll go, brother.
Okay, so I picked up a couple of books for the last 2 weeks. Try to go through this as quickly as possible. I went to a comic convention this past Sunday. Was it this Sunday?
2 weeks ago.
Sunday before.
2 weeks ago. Hey man, time is waiting for no man. It was in Warner Robins, Georgia. It was a small Warner Robins comic convention. It was pretty cool. It was small, but I found some a couple of things there. But I'm gonna start with the new stuff that I got. Thanks to Larry, I picked this sucker up, and I like this. The X-Men Grand Design. This is a pretty cool book, man. I like how they did that. Kind of like retconning a few things. Unfortunately, that's the only Marvel book I got. But as far as new stuff,
damn shame.
Hey man, they gotta come with it, brother. I'm still open. They gotta bring me back. Okay, so I got
more than 4 issues.
Right. I got Batman Annual number 2.
Batman.
Yep, I got this right here, which is I got this in the mail. The Dark Knight's metal with the Batman Who Laughs variant cover. Nice. I thought I got that Virgin cover. This right here about $300 now, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I got Dark Knight Metal 4. I got Dark Knight's Hawkman Found.
What was that again, Al? You said about $300?
That version of the Dark Knight, the variant, the Batman Who Laughs, Dark Knight's Metal 3.
Okay.
That's the Matina variant.
Yeah, the Matina variant. I got the one with I got this one, but it's the same cover except this stuff naked. Is right. It's just naked. Thank you. It's a naked book. Hawkman Found. This is pretty good. Doomsday Clock number 2. Green Lanterns 36. Green Lanterns 37.
Straight out of South Park.
That's right. Okay. I got the Flash. I got 36 around here somewhere, but the Flash 37. All right. So on to the Independence. I got Rednecks number 8.
Which is probably going to be one of those that's option.
Yep. I got new world order. Walking Dead 175. I have Animosity number 11. People, this is probably going to be a TV show. I hear that beat. But this is probably going to be a TV show down the road. You heard it here first. So when you see an article that says Animosity is going to be made out of a TV show, you heard it on the Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion group. Black Cloud number 6, and this is an Image book, and this may be one of the titles that's included in those 22 titles that have been flagged for a TV show or movie.
That dude look like somehow Scooby-Doo. Like when they snatched the mask
and I
off.
would have got rid of him if it wasn't for you dastardly
Right.
kids.
Meddling kids.
Meddling kids.
That's right. Okay. Got two more independents, and I'm gonna get to what I got from the con. I bought this down at Will's. I read on the internet about this one called Stabbity Bunny, but this one actually was on a watch list. So I just went ahead and picked it up for the heck of it. So I got the Stabbity Bunny #1. I have no clue what this is about. I guess the rabbit killing people. I don't know. And then I got Grass
It's going for
Kings
about 15 on eBay.
What, Stabbity Bunny? Yeah. So I got Grass Kings #10, and I got #11, but I couldn't find that. So on to the con. Basically, I just picked up a bunch of back issues for Alpha Flight and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Alpha Flight #1, a couple of Excaliburs and stuff. But the things of note that I got down there were milestone books. I got Hardware #1. This is a milestone book back from the 90s when it was like a black publishing company, the DC imprint. And I got another copy of Static #1. So I got that. And this is the orange cover right here. It's just wrapped up in plastic. Now this, last but not least, is not a grail. However, it's something that I have wanted that I think that I want to say Matt and Larry have these. I got these from the Warner Robins Comic Con. Shouts out to them. I can't remember the vendor that I got them from, but he had a personal collection. It was a private collection of about 15 to 16 long boxes. And the books that I looked at, they were anywhere from like the late 60s to current, like 2015, 2016. Needless to say, I went through some of the books, and the guy actually mentioned these to me, and I looked at them. I said, you know what, I'm going to jump on them. The #1 of this particular series on eBay, it runs anywhere from $30 to $40 to $50. But I ended up getting the 4-issue limited series for $60. And it is Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I got 1. I got #2. I got #3.
That one is super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This one right here?
Yep.
Yeah.
And #4. I got all 4 of these for $60. So I went ahead and jumped on it. And looking at these things, and I'll let y'all see them next time I see y'all in person. I don't even want to take them out. I don't want to take them out. I mean, that's how good they look. I mean, they just came off the rack, like really. So I think I'm just probably gonna slab these and find some.
Man, you better get the digital copy and read.
That's what I'm talking about. Either a reader, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got. And shouts out to the Warner Robins Comic Convention, and that's pretty much it for me this evening.
Did anybody get Guardians of the Galaxy 150?
I did not. What's the significance of that one?
It's the last book, and it's the return of Adam Warlock.
Oh, I read about that. I have not got it. They might have it at Origin Story though.
Let's see what they got on eBay. Let's see what that's going for on eBay. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Just let you know.
What number was that, Larry?
150.
Let's see what that's going for.
While y'all looking that up, I don't have any pulls as far as comics, but I got 4 pops that I want to show y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got. When you show yours, I got something to show too.
Yeah, it's going. You can still get that for reasonable price. Okay, go ahead, Xavier.
TC, if we get another one of these, you want me to grab one for you?
That's the movie one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see him shaking his head? Yeah.
If we get another one of these, I'll grab one for you. I also got Nightwing from Teen Titans Go. Y'all know how I feel about Nightwing. He's my
That got a mullet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Super mullet.
I ain't even get that.
Y'all know
he got a Joe Dirt mullet.
No, it's better than Joe Dirt. It's real. Y'all know I like Nightwing second behind Batman. And I showed y'all this earlier. I got this in today from Legion of Collectives. The first time he wore, he became Nightwing. That's why I posted that picture on Instagram with the book and everything. So I had to have this one. And the last one I showed y'all before, but I got bored and I had to repaint it. Like I was telling Larry about it. I think I telling Larry I painted it light blue instead of that dark gray. This looks a lot better than what the actual one was, and y'all can't tell, but y'all know this is not a bobblehead. Yeah, I had to take that spring out and make it where it didn't bobble because it wouldn't stand otherwise. But that was my 4 little things.
Okay, let me just quickly show what I got. X got this for me. It's King from Tekken with the cape. Okay. Yeah, thank you. And one of the other ones, I got another one, but it's at my desk. But I bought this one when I was up at Origin Story Comics. It is
the Juggernaut.
It's the Juggernaut, man.
Right. So that's it.
Kane Marco.
A.L.
Kane Marco.
He didn't acknowledge Professor X on that X-Men movie. I just want to put it. Go ahead, Xavier.
Hey, we can go into a whole bunch of things in your movie. But Al, just to let you know, if you got the other Tekken pops, they are about to be vaulted. So if you don't, you might want to go ahead and grab those before they go in the vault.
I'm only missing Nina Williams, so and Devil
I haven't
Jin.
seen her in a while.
They got it at GameStop for like $5, so I'm gonna go up there and smack. Yep.
Yeah, I better start looking at these too. I know this is the first one. It's Captain America book. It's
Craven.
Yeah, Craven Hunt Captain America. But the most important thing is down in the corner. The Where's Wolverine?
Oh man, okay.
Here we go.
Wolverine he's going to be in the end of sequences of certain comics over the month until he makes a full comeback.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Everybody, we want to say thank you for watching. As we are back for the 2K18, we will be back in 2 weeks with more comics and pop culture discussions.
More rants.
More fire, more passion and desire. For everybody on the panel, Antonio Coleman, Al Rainey, Larry Crocker, Xavier Randall, Vince, we know you're watching, brother. We know you getting settled in where you are, my friend. Weldon still had we got to come up with a segment. We got to come up with like a running joke about Weldon. Where's Weldon? So we'll we still looking free Weldon. So with that, I want to say thank you. Want to wish everyone a great night. Happy New Year from everybody here on the panel. Look forward to new things, new stuff. Like I said, we've got a couple of things coming down the pike. For those who are watching, make sure that you reach out to us on YouTube. You can message us. We enter yourself. We want you to send us a message. We are nearing 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. We're getting close, and we're going to be doing some giveaways. So make sure that you reach out to us on. We have a comment hall and roundtable discussion group on Facebook. Make sure you join that as well. And we will be doing some giveaways as we get closer to 100. So thanks everyone for watching tonight. We will see you all in 2 weeks. Have a good night.